Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 375 of Geeks in Space. I am Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I am joined today by two of the finest geeks that you will ever meet. They're on the screen now, looking at you. They can't see you. Introduce yourselves, gentlemen.
Hi, I'm Chris DeBona. How are you?
I'm fine, Chris DeBona.
And I'm Rob Roseboom, coming from the bunker.
It's funny that you have more light, like natural light, in your bunker than I have in my space station.
Yeah, I need it to fight off the seasonal depression.
I'm so confused. His bunker light only comes from one side, so he looks like he's living in a shadow. I feel like we're talking to a dwarf in the Mines of Moira. Meanwhile, Mr. Malda, you have got lovely light. You know, it's highlighting your better side, and
Is this my better side?
I don't know. I'm just picking one. I mean, because that's how you swoop your hair, right? So I figured.
Oh yeah.
Be your better side, right?
That's my thing.
And it's funny because like you're yeah.
Well, gentlemen, it's the last week of August. The news cycle is in full swing. We have important things like China has sent fresh troops into Hong Kong.
China.
The Amazon rainforests continue to burn.
Oh man.
We've got we're down to 10 Democrat potential nominees for the presidency, none of whom are going to be easy against the incumbent, because the incumbent is wildly popular amongst his base, and every single one of the leading Democrat candidates is flawed in some obvious way that apparently everybody in America can see, except the DNC.
However, I'll point out that they're all winning in polls versus him right now. So,
well, I mean, the thing is also you say the DNC as if it's a functioning body.
That's true.
I mean, listen, the old joke from the 80s is I'm not a member of an organized political party. I'm a Democrat.
That's right.
It's honestly the best thing that's happened to the Democratic Party has been Act Blue, in my opinion. I mean, that site is amazing. Driving donations, driving field operations. This is not what this is about. But
I was just gonna say, with all of the important things in the world, we should probably make fun of Bitcoin.
For sure. What a bunch of shit that is. All that energy.
Craig Wright is now who maybe is or isn't Satoshi. Now he's being told to give half of his Bitcoin, which he doesn't have, as part of the settlement with what was it, the Climate Estate?
Yeah.
This story, I
think it's so great.
People claim to be Satoshi, and then all of the hullabaloo surrounding every time that happens, it's more fun than the biannual celebration of Voyager leaving the solar system.
So let me walk a logical pathway for you. So you're Satoshi Nakamura, aka whoever, right? You create Bitcoin, right? Inspired by the multi-master version control system Git, you create Bitcoin, a distributed ledger technology, right? And you deploy this thing at a bunch of nerd mailing lists. You get the whole world interested, and you disappear. Many years later, you come out of the cave you've been living in, and you say, "I'm Satoshi Nakamura.
I'm Craig Wright.
Just conveniently forgot the password. I just forgot where I put my wallet."
No, it's way more interesting than that. He claims that he sliced the key up into shards and locked them up in different places.
Oh my God, this is so lame. Listen, the person who creates Bitcoin, or the people who created Bitcoin, probably just a person because it would have fallen apart by now. They're not going to do something stupid like that. They're going to be able to recover their wallet.
I don't know, man.
This is like the guy who said he created email. It's like, yeah, okay, buddy.
Well, okay, but we know a lot of people who have successfully created pretty darn important things.
Sure.
And a lot of them are not as bright as the media or the hype would lend you to believe. You can be very clever at one thing, and you can be utterly dysfunctional at seeing the big picture, even of the very thing you created.
So I would agree with you normally, but if you look at the people who have created incredibly important technologies, you know, when it comes to that technology, it's not like, I mean, we've met plenty of nerds who are great programmers who you're shocked can even wear clothes, right?
Yep.
But for that technology, they execute, right? They don't flag, right?
But I don't know. I mean, I feel like as technology gets more complicated, they invent, like, they're good in the shard of their technology that they're good at. But I mean, my dumb example that I always talk about, I was an acceptable programmer, but not a good one. But I didn't know to crypt passwords. I didn't know shit about security. Sure. I knew how to do this other thing that I wanted to do.
Let me ask you a question, right? You said outside of their shard of technology. This is the shard of his technology, right? So this is why it just doesn't ring true.
Yep.
I think this guy is just some vainglorious hangers-on.
Regardless of whether it's true or not, it makes for very fun watching.
It makes for great reading. Yeah, it's hilarious. There's a lot of Schadenfreude,
It makes a great story, and it's the oldest school, right? I mean, he'll probably use this to turn over the keys, some sort of the labors of Hercules type thing. He's like, this isn't 7 pieces, and now you must find the 7 pieces.
It does really have a Ready Player One vibe to it,
right?
Yeah. So staying in tech news, looks like Mozilla needs a new CEO. So Rob, what are you up to?
Well, I don't know. I got a lot of stuff to do here in the bunker, but I mean, if they need someone.
Yeah, Chris Blizzard left, I guess, huh?
Yep. He's walking out.
Just like embrace the last name. Go start voicing a Diablo character. I don't know. No?
He's fine. He's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be okay.
It is weird. There seems like there's been a lot of turnover at some of the older orgs. Your Blizzards, your Wikis. There's a changing of the guard that seems to be occurring. A lot of burnout from people who've been doing this for a long time.
So I didn't read any exit letter or anything. Did he say he was burned out?
No, I'm not saying that he's burnt out or anything. But I mean, whenever I see somebody leave, there's really only 3 options, right? You're burnt out. The people that are around you are crappy and terrible, and you hate it, which probably means you're burnt out.
Or you were handsy.
Yeah, that's true. I guess. All right, there's that option.
Before
you lassitered someone, or you got a better job somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, those like, if you're at that level, like they fire you at that level for, you have to be pretty dang incompetent to be fired at that level. And if they do fire you, it's usually
he wasn't fired though, right? He quit.
No, he quit. That's what. But I mean, when somebody leaves an organization like that, there's always like, spending time with family, and there's code words and
But he was there for what, 5 or 6 years, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a fine run for someone in that position. That's like the industry standard, like 4 years. Good.
I do. I don't know. I feel we need a viable browser not controlled by any of the. What's the acronym they're using now? The F.
FANG.
Is it? What's that?
FANG.
FANG. Facebook, Apple,
Amazon,
Google.
It's Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google.
Netflix gets to be in there now. That makes sense.
Well, that's FANG, but then there's M because it's Microsoft in this case because they have Edgium.
Famang. Manf. I like the idea of having an open browser, one that has nothing to do with any of the other corporations. I don't know that Firefox will continue to be that, but at this point it's hard because you look at the the tech stack that you need to do now. And this is I remember having this conversation when we were working on Trove, which was we were trying to build this one specific thing, and the team got hung up on they wanted to build comments. They wanted a comment system. And that's legit, right? If you're going to build a news app, you need a comment system.
Yeah.
But I spent a bunch of time saying, we don't have the thing that we're building done yet. Let's not worry about the comment thing. And because once you open a comment system as a can of worms, now you've got to deal with moderation problems, trolling problems, various new forms of abuse. It's a huge distraction. Yeah. And I think that when you're talking about a browser, trying to build a browser in 2019, there are 10,000 little things that a user expects in their browser.
Yep.
And otherwise,
password management, synchronization of persona, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that's not even before you even get to the render engine, which is hard. Like really
that's
hard.
The thing they've got that though. That's not the problem. The problem was all the back-end services and all the little tie-ins and the malware detection, keeping on the safe search stuff, even though they have access to the safe search API, no problem. It's just I
don't know. I feel like we aren't going to end up with any significant new browser contenders, maybe ever again, as long as until we move to some sort of new platform universally, which, I mean, I don't know if that's like, we come to a virtual reality era, so we decide somebody's going to become the Netscape navigator of the virtual reality equivalent. Like you need a new platform in order to get a new contender.
Wait, Rob, but wait, are you saying that VRML is not the future?
Dude, if everything doesn't look like Johnny Mnemonic in the next year or two, I'm going to be really disappointed.
Here's the thing. I didn't mind the movie, but they really shouldn't have included the fish.
The talking dolphin.
Oh, I was going to say, I can't wait to get my armored dolphin in the basement.
I'm like, I mean, I know they wanted to stick closely to the source material, but the fish, it was just too much. Like the rest of it, you're like, okay, Keanu Reeves has too much information in his head. Sure. Why
need to add an extra 512 megabytes in order to
whatever. It was like something really funny like that.
Yeah,
that's that little like.
Watch Johnny Mnemonic again and talk about the actual amounts of data he wants, because it's literally like, I'm gonna get an extra half a gig. It's like you mean like a USB stick from 2003?
Like, why are you putting this in your skull? This is not smart.
You could literally just swallow it and get it back in 3 days.
Yeah, there were real problems with that movie.
There are many problems. Speaking of movies, Apocalypse Now has the final cut, a 3-hour edit, officially coming out this week. I'm actually kind of excited about
they exhume Kubrick and have him like remix it?
I don't know if you need Kubrick. Ain't that Coppola?
Oh,
I'm not pulling out a jacket.
You're right. I'm sorry. I've got and he's alive. By the way,
I mean, kinda.
As far as we know.
Well, I mean, he probably just had Nick Cage do it. His nephew.
That's right. Nick Cage, heir to the Coppola empire.
Right, Nicholas Coppola. I mean, that's
weirdly true. It's weirdly true. Who's the other one? Is Gwyneth Paltrow? Because she's like Steven Spielberg's niece.
Oh, that's
and there's a bunch of those like really big celebrities who are just like, well, you're the niece of somebody who did something really important in the 70s, so you're somehow the best that we have to offer. There's totally no nepotism. You got here on your own, we swear.
Yeah.
So
there's like every other aspect of
there's
the world.
already a 3-hour cut of Apocalypse Now. I wonder what is new about this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it. I have like a handful of movies.
2 more Martin Sheens. They had Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen come out of retirement and star as their father. It's totally reasonable.
I mean, that's on my list of like, there's like a dozen movies that like from that era that are like the big classics that I need to sit down and rewatch. And I'm glad to see that this came out. I actually have it to watch right now.
But we haven't reviewed the most important aspect of Johnny Mnemonic yet. I know we should move on.
No, we have nothing to do. Our lives are nothing but meandering conversations about 30-year-old movies.
But August, I mean, that's what August is for. The scene where he's standing on the pile of crap and he screams out, "I want room service."
Yeah. Is
So-
Ice-T or something in that movie?
Yeah, Ice-T's in it. And I want a clean new shirt. It's just like one of these moments you're like, for this scene, the entire movie is worth it. Like the stupid dolphin, the dumb data science going on in his head.
I actually watched that
face
movie
paint.
like a year and a half ago.
But,
it was How Did This Get Made?
That scene is so good.
The How Did This Get Made movie for this week is called The Hottie and the Naughty, and it stars Paris Hilton. And I hadn't heard of it.
No.
I haven't heard of it. I'm halfway through.
You might as well watch like a Logan Paul movie. Just don't.
I will say the cyber dolphin in The Hottie and the Naughty is way better than the cyber dolphin in Johnny Mnemonic. So,
right. I mean, because the Johnny Mnemonic one was a puppet, but they really, like, 2008 computer animation is really the way to go if you're going to render a sentient dolphin talking to Paris Hilton.
Right.
And the sound quality of modern films compared to Johnny Mnemonic, you can really get those highs of the dolphins.
Yeah.
You get the full frequency.
Really beautiful.
You need to get all the notes if you want your vocals to travel through 1,000 miles of ocean floor.
Right. I can actually do it loud, but I'm at work, and if I did it, like, the building would probably go on an alarm or something.
Mr. Robot has a final season coming now. They just had their final trailer.
So I watched the first season. I thought it was great, and I never went back to it. Was it worth going back to? I heard the second season was, but yeah.
They wander a little bit. I do feel like was it Sam Esmail? Sam Esmail's the creator, and he directs. I don't know if he directs all of it, but he directs a lot of it. They do really cool visual stuff throughout. Yeah. It's definitely, like, considering the stories that they're telling are actually, I mean, yeah, they're sci-fi-ish and they're futuristic-ish. They're grounded pretty darn well in reality. Although as the show goes further away from reality, like, they've got their whole, like, post-corporate collapse Bitcoin equivalency that's kind of running the world in season 3, which feels that's far away from the real world, but it's way more grounded than, like, Legion. I couldn't
get through Legion, man.
Legion is great for what it is, but again, Legion, the visuals for Legion are so good.
Yeah.
And I feel that way about Mr. Robot. It's just one of those shows where you have somebody holding the camera who really cares about what they're pointing at and what it looks like, and you don't get that in very many shows.
Yeah, no, it's true. Well, it's funny because Silicon Valley and Mr. Robot, I put them in the same place in my head. Like, Mr. Robot is this serious drama, but if you really listen to the characters, they're all these kind of good people who are really optimistic and are trying to make the world a better place, right?
That doesn't feel like that by season 3.
Oh, really? Well, then let me keep my model.
All right, yeah.
And then Silicon Valley is basically a bunch of really bad people, doing bad things, and it's hilarious, right?
Right. Silicon Valley is garbage humans doing funny things.
Yeah, it kind of is,
I don't know how that one guy has time to take those kids on field trips and still be actively developing compression algorithms for Pied Piper.
He's really more like Uriah,
Yeah. I often think of him as exactly Uriah.
Yeah, he's basically Uriah.
Let's see. I had one more thing on my list, which was interesting. Oh, we had the Joker, the final Joker trailer. Rob, we're talking about that.
I didn't get a chance to watch it. Is it really just a celebration of the life of a clown?
Yeah, it's a lot of choreography.
Yeah, oh, that's great. Some juggling.
It looks interesting. I mean, I'm optimistic.
I mean, he's a fantastic actor, Joaquin Phoenix. You know. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and they really haven't tried to do a Joker origin story before, so
anywhere.
No, they kind of did it in one of the Batmans, you know, where they.
I mean,
the animated series is the only one that got into who the Joker was. They never address it in the comic books. So
wait, are you guys saying that you're not big fans of the Jared Leto Joker?
I actually like the Jared Leto Joker, but only like it's a weird note in a weak movie. And that movie is all weird notes that are all out of tune with each other.
I guess I can appreciate that they tried to do some stylized thing like that. Not my cup of tea, but I guess I appreciate that they went for it.
So I kind of do too. Like, actually, the trailer for Suicide Squad was really good. The one with the Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah. But have you've heard the story about that, right?
No, there was a story.
So the story was they shot the movie and then they brought in a house, like an editing house, to make the trailer. Sure. They edited the trailer. The trailer tested off the charts. The movie in screenings tested like garbage. So they reshot like a whole bunch of footage and then re-edited the movie, and they had the commercial company edit the movie to make it more like the trailer. And basically the director, it was David Ayers, I think, was the director of that. And he just walked away, basically. He was just like, nah, this isn't my movie. This is a totally different thing now. Yeah. And I don't think that he, he didn't Alan Smithy the thing, but I think he almost Alan Smithied the thing.
It was Ayers, not Goyer?
I don't remember. I thought it was Ayers, but I don't remember offhand. And I only have, the vastness of the internet available in a square 3 inches to the left of your faces.
So
I do think. Sorry, go ahead, Rob.
The big knock on the Joker that I've read now is people have seen it say that it has almost nothing to do with Batman.
Yeah.
And the director was like, "Well, yeah, I'm making a Joker movie, not a Batman movie. So my Joker isn't necessarily, following the canon of the comic book." And stuff like that, which I mean, you can make an argument that I love the Heath Ledger Joker.
Yeah, I know.
Fantastic. But that wasn't exactly like any Joker that was in the comic books or anything either. I think he just did a fantastic job,
he's amazing,
of being that character. So
maybe this goes back to what I think about all of these reimaginings or whatever. To me, if you're going to tell me the Joker, I am basically going to give you back something vaguely similar to Batman the Animated Series in the 90s. That is essentially what I feel the Joker is. But I feel that all of the comic book characters that we grew up with, everybody who was invented in in some of these cases, the 40s and the 50s, your Captain Americas and your Supermans, I feel that those characters are now in the same class as Zeus and Hercules. So if you want to show up and make a new Hercules story, and you want to do, you want to do it in the style of Xena Warrior Princess, or you want to do it in the style of Hercules in New York, I feel like you can do that now. These characters are old enough and ingrained into the culture enough that it's all about the spin that you can put on them. Yeah. And I like that. So when I look at the Joker as a movie, I look at it like, yeah, that ain't the Batman Joker, because the Batman Joker is voiced by Mark Hamill, and he was on the animated series in the 90s. This is a different thing, and that's cool, because 20 years from now, somebody's going to watch that and they'll maybe enjoy that as their key Joker. Just like I can never imagine a Superman that's not Christopher Reeves, and I can never imagine a Wolverine that's not Hugh Jackman. But 20 years from now, somebody else is going to do it. And they'll do a good job.
I actually have no problem imagining Superman as not Christopher Reeves, just because it was so long ago. Not that any of the Supermans that you've had since are any good. But no, I mean, and imagine if they did Joker in sort of a Mindhunter style, and because I don't know, I think there's something there for sure. But yeah, who knows? Maybe it'll be good.
I'll be there. I'll see it.
Oh, so Suicide Squad. Rolling back a little bit, popping down the stack. If the actors they got were actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Like Margot Robbie was great, and not just because she's super easy on the eyes, but like
Will Smith was the worst actor in that movie.
which is saying something because he's a really enjoyable actor, right?
He is, but they just wrote a crap character.
Well, and
He wrote a crap
the whole
character.
premise of the Suicide Squad is an interesting story. It is, what would the government do if these people really existed?
Yeah.
It's reasonable. You could absolutely imagine that happening.
And I think I love the Amanda Waller character on the TV version. I thought that they did such. So this is the problem. Can I tell you the real problem with all the DC movies is the DC TV shows are so much fun. They're so good. Well, Arrow went off the cliff a little bit in the last couple seasons, but like they're a blast. They're having a good time with fun characters and decent CW level actors, but it works. Anyway, I don't know if we agree.
Oh, I guess I have a hard time putting DC and Marvel into any separate, like into clear lines, because I think Doom Patrol is a great TV show. Yeah. I don't know that Marvel has had a great TV show yet. They've got S.H.I.E.L.D., which is sometimes okay.
Fine,
but I guess it depends on if you count Netflix as well. I thought Daredevil was great.
That's true. That's true.
Was fantastic. Yeah, no,
that's true. I'll give you those. But but I feel like most of the Netflix shows, there's been probably maybe 2 seasons of Daredevil are in the great category. There's a whole lot of good and a whole lot of meh in there. But the DC
and also they couldn't use all the really great criminals, all the really good bad guys, because they wanted to save those for the movies. So.
Yeah, that's definitely a one arm tied behind your back sort of situation for the producers. I don't envy that. I don't know. Like, I just don't think that there's any overarching rule that you can make, because even with the DC movies, like Shazam is fun.
Shazam was great.
And the Dark Knight trilogy. I mean, those are straight up great things.
The third one kind of sucks.
The third one is weak, but if you have to kind of put the third Dark Knight movie into the same bucket as you might Return of the King. Return of the King as a standalone film is probably the weakest of the 3 Lord of the Rings movies, but largely that's because it's got 45 minutes of closure, which you can't do in a 2-hour movie, but you can do in a 10-hour movie.
And some poorly rendered ghost warriors zerging over giant elephants. I mean, some of the special effects get less than special in Return of the King.
Special.
It's true. So. Extra special. The actually, my theater is showing Lord of the Rings on Sunday. They're showing like the full extended mega cut.
Are they doing the whole Arlington Cinema and Draft House food thing?
No,
this is the thing where they serve the food.
This is my less good movie theater, but I have convinced my child to go with me. So I'm probably going to be going and watching a almost 4-hour movie on Sunday, and I'm very excited for that.
No, Cinema Draft House, they have a 12-hour long full. Gosh, where's my brain?
Marathon.
They have a marathon, but of the other movies, Lord of the Rings, and they actually serve the food from the movie, from the cookbook.
Oh, good.
Oh, really?
Throughout. So it's like you have all the weird Hobbit
food. Stew.
Yeah, you do actually, and it's kind of great. So
this does not taste like the elven bread I grew up with.
Right. I mean, I ate 3 servings already, and that was supposed to last all month.
Yeah.
All right, folks. It is time for us to click the buttons that make us all go away. Would you like to say your farewells to our friend, Jake? Is that who we decided on the name of our listeners?
Jake is our listener. Our
See you, Jake.
See you, Jake.
Have a good day, buddy.
Thanks for hanging, buddy.
All right, boys. Thanks to Chris and Rob, and thanks to Jake for listening. This has been episode 375 of Geeks in Space. I am Rob Commander Taco Malda. Press the buttons that say that you appreciate our efforts, Jake. We're watching, we know. And for everybody who somehow stumbles upon this years and years and years from now after we are long dead,
we're so sorry.
We're really sorry.